beautiful and balmy afternoon in the Sunshine State as we welcome you back to the World Center of Racing for the qualifying session for the 2026 running of the Smokey's Best Damn Garage Daytona 500, the season premiere for the 6th ever season of the NR2003 Mission BBQ Cup Series here on the North American Sim Racing Network and live from the Daytona International Speedway. Here on behalf of the NESRN, my name is Trey Wright. We are so glad to be back here with a full 42-car field, V8 stock cars here at the World Center of Racing, and we are so excited to get Speed Weeks underway here at Daytona. Got a lot of storylines to go over, and we will definitely go over all of them, but after that exciting race on the beaches, on the Daytona Beach Course, that race was won by Chevy Power Racing's own Reggie Fogelman. So a little bit of contact on the pit lane already between Ryan Durrani and Campbell Marsh. We'll talk about those two here in a bit. But already some qualifying drama for Campbell Marsh, so you know that we're officially back in terms of the stupidity. That is not what you want for Campbell Marsh, and that might negate his speed a little bit here early. But trying to find a Reggie Fogelman. There he is in that number 3 machine. And what a start to the season it has been for Chevy Power Racing drivers. You got Reggie Fogelman, who won the UNOH Battle on the Beach. You had Eric Monaco, who won the FMGTC race here for GT Le Mans back in late January. And then Bradley Ream, who's been doing Bradley Ream things. But for Chevy Power Racing, they're just one storyline on this cobble's knot of storylines here. And biggest storyline coming out of this offseason is Corey Case, champion from last year, back here as the junior driver in his 3rd season of competition. So he moves around the 18 of Angel Gutierrez in a brand new ride. That's a Mau Racing Ford Fusion for that brand new 2-car program underneath the direction of Michael Lewis. Angel Gutierrez, he lost his ride from Stealth Motorsports after that 3-car team rolled off last year, folded after last season. Let's see what they were able to do here this year for Angel Gutierrez in his 3rd team in as many years he has competed here in the MBCS. There's Dylan Matthews, last year's Daytona 500 champion back in the 75. Did not make the FMGTC race here for the Daytona 2.4 a couple of weeks ago, but the defending winner of this race looking to make some magic happen come this Saturday afternoon here on Valentine's Day at high noon. There's Bradley Ream in that big red number 2 machine, previously mentioned part of that 3-horse stable for Chevy Power Racing in that Monte Carlo SS. We'll see what that big red racing car is able to do here in terms of the pole position, which right now belongs to Alexander Rowe, with 11:30 to go here in qualifying, or at least for the first round, because the way that we typically do qualifying here for the Great American Race, top 10 drivers will advance to the pole round of qualifying, which will determine who will make the outside and the front row for the 2 front row pole sitters, and then we'll figure out who will be in the duels for the other 32 drivers that'll be on the outside of the top 10. Their fates of the duels will be decided here in this qualifying session. But right now, the aforementioned Michael Lewis moving to the top of the heap. In that 54 Ryobi machine, there he is. Did not make the Mike's Hard Lemonade 2.4 hours of Daytona, so he, like Dylan Matthews and Sarah Taylor, back here in a stock car with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. So move underneath the 05 of Owen Miles, bringing that Pepsi Zero Sugar Challenger back here to the Mission BBQ Cup Series circles. A car and a livery that was made pretty infamous there by Logan Alexander back in 2024. Owen Miles bringing that back. Same thing with his teammate, the aforementioned Logan Alexander there on the outside of Reggie Fogelman. Brenna Wilmington, like we said in the Clash race, bringing over sponsorship from Tillamook. Pacific Northwest Creamery, and a brand new paint scheme there for last year's, one of the 28 different winners from last year in that 62 car. There's Keegan Thompson right behind The all-time winningest driver here on the North American Sim Racing Network, Eric Monaco, got that distinction after winning the race at Daytona for GT Le Mans. In fact, the two most winningest drivers here on the channel right now, nose to tail. Right in front of them, the Colonel of Caleb Rose in the Tide Ride with Igor Barreto on the outside of this quartet. Fastenal coming over from Stealth Motorsports to Titan Fury Racing, so a brand new livery there for the 13 of Igor Barreto. It's Ryan Durrani still rocking the Amazon Prime car from last season. Toby Murphy, like we said, in the Battle on the Beach, bringing sponsorship, coming over, I should say, from Stealth Motorsports and that team folding up. In fact, all three drivers from that organization finding new rides here for 2026, with Toby Murphy coming over to American Motorsports and bringing Tamiya on as a sponsorship as he goes underneath the big staple of Nathan Stapleton. And there is that third and final driver from Stealth Motorsports last year, number 9 of Danny Fallington. Got Twisty Treat on the car as he moves underneath the Loves American Truck Series champion of Roberto Crown Jr. And 2 of the 6 rookies on the grid right in front of these drivers. It's going to be Wyatt Walker in that Phasmophobia number 19. Part of a 2-car program for Death Rider Racing, one of the 2 brand new teams here in terms of an organization. And there is the second place driver from that Daytona 2.4, Mateus Bento. The Vodafone number 71, Michael Lewis, hanging up the fire suit after, what was it, 5 seasons of competition. Did not return, so Bento certainly has some big shoes to fill after Michael Lewis. Certainly Showtime Mike after the last couple of seasons. He's got Vodafone on the car and a brand new livery for 2 of the 3 cars in that Titan Fury Racing stable. Zachary Fitzwater back in the 99, your Chicagoland winner for last year. Alex Sanvitale sporting some slightly new paint for the junior driver. Got his first win last season, trying to get win number 2 here as he's right behind Thomas Troxel. Sarah Taylor, another driver that missed the Daytona 2.4, that's got a chip on their shoulder trying to make it big here in the 500. And there's the owner of Death Rider Racing, the number 29 of Russell Blaze. See what Russell is able to do here in that Dead by Daylight number 29 Chevy Monte SS. Esteban Lasser, Charlie Davenport, Bryce Egan, who will be making his NBCS debut this season at JBL number 90. He's the only rookie out of that NS Racing stable and that JBL number 90 car. And Dano Georgi, like we said, during the Battle on the Beach, bringing sponsorship over from the 38 program to the 34. For American Motorsports, and a new number font for American Motorsports this season as well. Big knot of storylines up in here. So we got 6:37 to go in this first round of qualifying. Of course, Aaron Abel placing Juan Rodriguez in that HTO number 48 machine. Right now, Bradley Ream, top of the charts in that big red number 2 car. Braden Perez, the winner of this race from 2 seasons ago. That was his last win here on the North American Sim Racing Network as he tries to move right behind an old face in a new place. It's Daniel Voiles in that 79 Otter Island Motorsports Hers Toyota Camry back here after spending a season and a half. Back with, what was it, SF Premium Motorsports, or was it just a single car? I think it was a single car team for Daniel Voiles that he ran. Carson Miller, the winner for GT Daytona here in the Mixar Lemonade Daytona 2.4, trundling back onto the track. Brand new paint scheme in that 711 Camry with O2 Racing moving over from the Dodges to the Camrys. Like we mentioned, Alexander Rowe, now the owner of a 3-car team for Fallout Racing. Aaron Abel moving underneath of Braden Perez. That's 3 wide with Matthew Huber bringing sponsorship over from Zinn from his opening days in the Winston All-American Series, and the car that is the exact same. So I don't think we're going to be confusing him with Carson Miller like we did for whatever reason last season. But some new paint for both of those guys for Vision Motorsports, Rogel Dorn, and a Connor Zilic-inspired WeatherTech car as well. We'll see if we can find him around the track. And speak of the devil, he's not too far in front of his team owner. Along with the 18 of Gutierrez, Campbell Marsh back in the saddle after getting that rear end fixed. He's right behind Cole Sampson in that DeWalt Tools number 5 car. Alex Lozano sporting some new paint at FedEx number 11 car. Harkening back to Denny Hamlin's 2016 primary scheme. And hey, that might be some good news for him here at the World Center of Racing, as it was that car and that paint scheme that Denny Hamlin won his first of 3 Daytona 500 championships. See what Denny Hamlin himself is able to do in speed weeks. He fared decently in the Clash last night, I think. We'll see if Lozano, who only got 1 win last year, came out of Super Speedway at the Talladega Super Speedway. He's able to bring Toyota back to victory lane. For the first time in 365 days, Dylan Matthews drove a Toyota to victory in last year's race. Got about 4 minutes to go here in qualifying. Bradley Ream and Braden Perez. And just as we say that, Braden Perez is going to drop down to 5th as Angel Gutierrez now up to 2nd. But right now, the cut line for the top 10 between Aaron Abel and Daniel Bouchard. Abel in the 48. He is right behind, so those two nose to tail. Right behind, oh boy, that's going to kill a time for them as Toby Murphy ran right in front of those two. Murphy taking away what would have been a pretty good time for Daniel Bouchard, as he's now right behind that 38 car, and that's going to be a pretty good time for Aaron Abel. He's got some drafting help from his team owner right behind him. But other drivers up inside the top 10, both Otter Island Motorsports entries of Dylan Matthews and Daniel Voiles, Campbell Marsh back in the fray in the 31, Cole Sampson and Alexander Rowe. So a lot of heavy hitters like we usually see. A lot of teams that are really good on these super speedways bringing it here. But it is something about this big red number 2 machine that Bradley Ream has got. Because he's currently top of the charts by 0.02 of a second over Angel Gutierrez. And Gutierrez, I don't think he's going to have as good of a lap this time. He is on the inside lane. We'll see if he gets a little bit of drafting help this time around with 2 minutes to go here in qualifying. That doesn't include bonus time, so about maybe 3 minutes to go in qualifying, I'd gauge. At the stripe, Gutierrez. Survey says 0.4 of a second off of his best lap, so I believe unless somebody is going to have a flying lap here. How about Rogel Dorn to that 27? He just got up inside the top 10 as well. A pretty good lap there in that 27 WeatherTech car. Matthew Hubert currently 17th. Oh, Ream, he might have a pretty good run this time by. His best time of 39.3. His last lap he ran a 40 even. Survey says for the 2 with Bouchard right behind him. 39.7, so 0.4 of a second off in terms of fall off. Oh, look at this. Logan Williams jumping to the top of the board out of nowhere. He is right at the tail end of this pack, right in front of everybody else, and he's going to knock Bradley Ream off the top pedestal for the time being. Williams. I think this pack up in here, they're going to have something to say about this for the final 2 minutes of qualifying. That knocks Aaron Abel out of the top 10. Can Abel get back into the top 10? We're waiting for timing and scoring to refresh. I don't believe he did. He did not. What a flying lap for Logan Williams. We got about 40 seconds to go in qualifying, at least for the top 10. Logan Williams with an absolute flyer. I don't think he's going to push any of these guys up to a faster lap this time by. This will probably be the last time for any of these guys to put down a solid lap. The red flag is out. Got about 30 seconds to go in terms of bonus time, but I don't think that we're going to have anybody else challenge for the top 10. Right now, Alexander Rowe would have the top 10 by 21 hundredths of a second. I believe these guys might be able, they might get their final time in here. It's going to come right down to the wire, and they are going to be able to get one last time in. Can Reem do anything about it? He cannot that time. I think pretty much everybody back in here will be able to get one last time in. I think this will probably end off with Roberto Crown Jr. getting one last time in. He'll probably have the final word about this, and he will not. He's not even going to get to the line. But Logan Williams will be, well, the first driver. He had a flying lap to get up inside the top 10, but taking a look at the top 10 drivers, where everybody else will start for their respective duels, Logan Williams and Bradley Ream will be the top two going into the final round of qualifying here in just a couple of moments. Angel Gutierrez, Rogel Dorn, Dylan Matthews, Braden Perez, Cole Sampson, Daniel Voiles, Campbell Marsh, and Alexander Rowe will round out the top 10, and Aaron Abel will be in duel number 1. Of course, if you qualified in an odd position, you will be in duel number 1. If you qualified in an even position, you will be in duel number 2. So looking at these guys up in here, Aaron Abel, Alex Lozano, and all the odd drivers will be in duel number 1, which that will be taking place tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, and then duel number 2 will be taking place directly after. But for Logan Williams, Bradley Ream, Angel Gutierrez, Rogel Dorn, Dylan Matthews, Braden Perez, Cole Sampson, Daniel Voiles, Campbell Marsh, and Alexander Rowe, they will be fighting for a coveted pole position and a front row start for the Great American Race here. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and reset things here for for final pole qualifying here for the Smokey's Best Damn Garage Daytona 500 here for the Mission Barbecue Cup Series' season premiere here this afternoon. And we are right back here at the World Center of Racing. 10 minutes going on the board and 10 drivers with a shot at front row starts for the Great American Race here at Daytona. It's Logan Williams going out first in that Hershey's number 17 machine. And it's fitting that Logan Sport number 17 car going out first of all of these drivers. He laid down a flying lap to completely shake up the top 10. It's the long shadows drawing here at the Daytona International Speedway. The early twilight here, the World Center of Racing. Angel Gutierrez is the second one to come out in car number 18 as Williams will make his opening lap time. He will come around, try to set a lap here in just a couple of moments. Again, just like with the other two cars, or the other qualifying, I should say, everybody that qualifies outside of the pole position, their starting positions for the Great American Race are not locked in. The odd qualifiers will go into duel number 1. The even qualifiers will go into duel number 2. But what a race that this is shaping up to be here on Saturday at noon. And of course, the SRI Performance Duels tomorrow afternoon here at 1 o'clock right here at the Daytona International Speedway. Logan Williams jumping to the top of the board here. The 42.05 second lap time, the only time on the board right now. Time Starting to wind down a little bit. Already 8 minutes to go in the session. Braden Perez out here in the 92. You got Cole Sampson here for this fast 10. And what is Bradley Ream able to do? I think if Bradley Ream is able to win the pole, he's got a pretty good chance of winning this race here in that 2 cars. Campbell Marsh also coming out in the 31. Dylan Matthews trundling out in the 75. Same thing with Alexander Rowe. But again, you look at this Hershey's number 17 Dodge with, I believe, nope, Campbell Marsh is also in here. So I think we've only got one Ford. Actually, no, we got a handful of Fords. So we've got a whole smorgasbord of manufacturers being represented in here. In fact, I think the most scarce manufacturer in here is Chevrolet. Only 2 bow ties going to be qualifying for the pole. And for the outside pole as well. But Cole Sampson, one of those 2 Chevrolets, right now with a fast time of 41.071 for that DeWalt number 5. Braden Perez is going to have a good draft right behind that 5 machine. Gutierrez now jumping up to the outside pole. Rogel Dorn will put down a pretty good lap this time, and now Braden Perez jump into the outside pole. So those 2 nose-to-tail tandem drafting with one another. Sampson entering his 6th season. Entering his 5th season is Perez. As Perez will now duck to the inside of the 5. Might have a run, but I think those 2 might side draft one another out of potentially having a pretty good lap here, but those are the only 2 that are linked up with one another. Dead at the line, and Bradley Ream will jump up to 2nd in the 2. So he and that 31 of Marsh are linked up, and now Marsh will move to the inside. Nobody wanting to work together just yet. Dylan Matthews, as well as the 84 of Alexander Rowe, those 2 side by side for the time being, with closing in on the halfway point in this fast qualifying session. And now Braden Perez jumps to the top of the board. The 40.466. It's good enough for about 1/10 of a second faster than Cole Sampson. So those 2, yeah, they were able to get lined up nose to tail here. Those 2 are the only one that were able to run sub 40.6s. Everybody else not able to run sub 40.7. And again, they're the only 2 that are lined up nose to tail, so they've got pretty good indication of potentially being on the pole position. Slingshot into the inside is Perez. He wants a better time here in that 92. Those 2 once again dead even with one another. Right now, Bradley Ream would be on the inside. He would be the pole sitter for duel number 1. Raymond Gutierrez currently would be the front row for duel 1. Ream right behind that 31 of Marsh, and these 2, they might have a pretty good run bro in this time. Survey says at the line for Ream. Nothing just yet, and he was not able to put down a faster lap time that time by. .330 to go in pole qualifying here at Daytona. It's Rogel Dorn and Daniel Voiles, I should say, right now bottom of the barrel. They've not been able to link up with anybody. Daniel Voiles is now behind these 2 leaders. See if he's able to link up with these guys. Trying to run a sub 41 for the first time in this qualifying session. Again, you go out at the wrong time, you're not going to have a whole lot of drafting help. Voiles at the stripe. That'll move him all the way up to 6, and that will push his teammate Dylan Matthews down another position, but Perez and Sampson that time behind. Perez, they ran their fastest lap. They're approaching sub 40. Perez a 40.073 and Sampson a 40.098. They're both sub 40.1. Voiles is going to try and link up with these guys here. We'll see if Sampson is able to surpass Perez. He's not able to just yet. And Daniel Voiles is now going to jump to the pole position. How about that? Talked about how he was right now at the bottom of the barrel. You need a drafting help, and now Daniel Voiles a 39.742. All top 3 drivers with a sub 40-second time, a 39.7. That is a flyer there for Voiles. And I'd say he's in a really good position to take this pole position. Right now, he is right behind the 2 fastest cars. We'll see if there's any change that time. We figured that it would be Cole Sampson and Braden Perez that would be the 2 pole sitters. Perez now falling to second, and Sampson right now would be the pole sitter in duel number 1. Or actually, he would be in the outside pole of duel number 1. Because again, the pole sitter will be the pole sitter for duel number 1 as well for the race, and it wouldn't matter where they start. Voiles peeking his nose to the inside. He's going to dump a lot of air onto Perez. See if that will help Sampson in any way, shape, or form. At the stripe, that is a negative. And now Sampson will move up to second. Again, our timing and scoring is behind here by about 20-odd seconds. But right now, Cole Sampson would be on the outside pole position. Here with about a minute to go in qualifying. Voiles still right behind these guys. There's going to be a big run coming for Braden Perez. Can they do anything about that at the stripe? Still waiting for things to reset. They will not. Bradley Ream now up to 4th. That might be all she wrote in terms of qualifying. See if these guys are able to lay down another lap. Do not believe that that's going to be the case. I believe we might have maybe 40 seconds to go in bonus time. It's one final opportunity for these guys to try to lay down a flyer. By the looks of it, that last time by, I believe we're going to have our front row set here for the Great American Race. We'll have a little bit more time in terms of bonus time for everybody to try and put down one final lap. But I believe that that should be the final nail in the coffin. Final couple of moments for the Oklahoman of Daniel Voiles. Come around turn number 3 and 4. We are going to get a little bit more bonus time, so the fat lady has not begun to sing yet. Braden Perez, one last ditch effort. Do not believe that he was able to put another fast lap there to put him on the front row. So that will indeed do it. How about that for Daniel Voiles, the Yukon, Oklahoma native? Going to be on the pole position for the Smokey's Best Damn Garage Daytona 500, and Cole Sampson will be on the outside pole. Braden Perez just a 1/10 of a second off. Bradley Ream will be in 4th. Campbell Marsh, Alexander Rowe, Dylan Matthews, Angel Gutierrez, Logan Williams, and Rogel Dorn. The rest of your top 10. So Daniel Voiles will be on the pole position for duel number 1. That'll be taking place tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock here for the first of 2 SRI Performance duels. Cole Sampson will lead the field to green in duel number 2, with Bradley Ream to his outside. But what a smattering amount of talent there, and what a flyer, what a surprise there for both of these qualifying sessions. Logan Williams able to jump to the top 10 in the late stages of qualifying earlier on, and Daniel Voiles snookering the pole position away from Cole Sampson and Braden Perez. And Otter Island Motorsports, who led the field to the checkered flag last year, and last year's Smokey's Best Damn Garage Daytona 500, will lead the field to green this year, this time in the opposite car. Daniel Voiles in that 79 car for Otter Island Motorsports will be the pole sitter for the Great American Race. But that's going to do it here for today's coverage of qualifying for the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. When we return, we're going to have the SRI Performance Duels tomorrow, 20 laps each for each of them. Here tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for duel number 1, duel number 2 immediately after duel number 1, so probably around 1:45 I would gauge. But that's going to do it here for our coverage of Mission Barbecue Cup Series Daytona 500 qualifying. Congratulations to Daniel Voiles and Cole Sampson for making up the front row for the Great American Race. See you right back here tomorrow afternoon for the SRI Performance Duels, right here on your home for the NR2003 Mission Barbecue Cup Series, the North American Sim Racing Network.